Welcome to our continuing coverage of Science 9 Outcome A4, Survival of Non-Human Species. We are now looking specifically at strategies to minimize species loss. Our specific learning outcome. Students will evaluate the success and limitations of various local and global strategies for minimizing loss of species diversity. Introduction. The loss of species diversity is a major environmental issue facing the world today. Species diversity, also known as biodiversity, refers to the variety of living organisms found in a particular area, including plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. Biodiversity is important because it helps maintain healthy ecosystems, provides resources for humans, and supports life on Earth. However, human activities such as habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, and overexploitation of resources have led to a rapid decline in species diversity. To address this problem, both local and global strategies have been developed to minimize the loss of species diversity. In this video, we will evaluate the success and limitations of some of these strategies, including breeding endangered populations in zoos, developing seed banks, designated protected areas, and creating international treaties to regulate trade in protected species and animal parts. Breeding endangered populations in zoos. One local strategy to conserve species diversity is the breeding of endangered populations in zoos. Zoos can provide a safe environment for animals that are at risk of extinction in the wild. By breeding these animals in captivity, zoos can help increase their population numbers and prevent their extinction. For example, the Vancouver Island marmot, a critically endangered species in Canada, has been successfully bred in captivity and reintroduced into the wild. So the successes: zoos can help maintain genetic diversity by carefully managing breeding programs. Some species have been saved from extinction through captive breeding and reintroduction. Zoos can educate the public about conservation and raise awareness. Limitations: captive breeding can be expensive and requires specialized knowledge. Animals bred in captivity may not adapt well to life in the wild. Zoos can only help a limited number of species, often focusing on charismatic animals rather than less well-known ones. Maintaining genetic diversity can be challenging if the population is too small. Another approach: development of seed banks. Seed banks are another important strategy for conserving plant diversity. Seed banks store seeds from a wide variety of plants, including rare and endangered species. These seeds can be used to restore habitats, reintroduce plants into the wild, and ensure that important crops are not lost. Successes: seed banks can preserve genetic material for future generations. They provide a backup in case of natural disasters, disease, or climate change. Seed banks support research and restoration projects. Limitations: not all seeds can be stored for long periods. Some require special conditions. Seed banks do not address the causes of plant extinction, such as habitat loss. Maintaining and updating seed banks can be costly and labor-intensive. Designating protected areas. Protected areas, such as national parks and wildlife reserves, are a widely used strategy for conserving species diversity. These areas are set aside to protect habitats and the species that live there from human activities like logging, mining, and urban development. Successes: protected areas can safeguard large numbers of species and ecosystems. They provide opportunities for scientific research and ecotourism. Protected areas can help maintain ecosystem services, such as clean water and air. Limitations. Protected areas may not be large enough or well connected to support all species. Enforcement of protection can be difficult, especially in remote areas. Local communities may be excluded from using resources, leading to conflicts. Protected areas alone may not be enough if threats like climate change are not addressed. International treaties regulating trade form another approach. Global strategies include international treaties that regulate the trade of protected species and animal parts. One example is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna, or CITES, which aims to ensure that international trade does not threaten the survival of species. Successes. Treaties can reduce illegal trade and poaching of endangered species. They encourage cooperation between countries and set global standards. CITES has helped protect species like elephants, rhinos, and tigers. Limitations. Enforcement can be challenging, especially in countries with limited resources. Illegal trade still occurs, often driven by high demand and profit. Treaties may not address other threats, such as habitat loss or climate change. Conclusion. In summary, there are many strategies for minimizing the loss of species diversity, each with its own successes and limitations. Local strategies like breeding endangered populations in zoos and developing seed banks can help save individual species and preserve genetic material. Designating protected areas can safeguard habitats and ecosystems, while international treaties can regulate trade and reduce poaching. However, no single strategy is enough to solve the problem of biodiversity loss. Effective conservation requires a combination of approaches, cooperation between countries, and addressing the root causes of extinction, such as habitat destruction and climate change. By understanding the strengths and weaknesses of these strategies, we can work towards a future where species diversity is protected for generations to come. All right, let's check for understanding. What is one primary goal of breeding endangered populations in zoos? Is it to create new species, to increase tourism, to maintain genetic diversity, or to reduce feeding costs? Pause now if you need more time. It's to maintain genetic diversity. Which of the following is a limitation of seed banks? They are not accessible to researchers. They are too expensive to maintain. They can only store seeds for a limited time, or they require large amounts of space. Pause now if you need more time. They can only store seeds for a limited time. Seeds are biodegradable, they're biological. If you wait too long, they don't work. They can deteriorate and decay, just like any other material. How do protected areas help in conserving biodiversity? By allowing hunting of endangered species, by promoting urban development, by providing a habitat free from human interference, or by restricting human access entirely. Pause now if you need more time. By providing a habitat free from human interference. What is a key challenge in the development of international treaties regulating trade of protected species? Is it difficulty in enforcement across borders, high cost of implementation, lack of scientific data, or limited public awareness? Pause now if you need more time. It is difficulty in enforcement across borders. Which strategy is most effective in addressing the global trade of animal parts? Is it expanding agricultural lands, increasing zoo populations, international cooperation and treaties, or local awareness campaigns. Pause now if you need more time. International cooperation and treaties is the big one for cutting down the global trade of animal parts. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, requests for images to be added, anything along those lines, please put them in the comments and I will address them in a timely fashion.